All right, welcome back, guys. It's Monday afternoon here. I said that I would get to a video for you, but I didn't get to it over the weekend, so that's just the way life goes. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown on where we stand. I didn't get to do a weekend video because I just didn't get. You know the way things go. Now I'm going to just give a run through the short-term charts to see where we stand, and a little view on the alternate as well. So I'm going to start with dollar yen here, which is it's quite interesting, both in terms of the main operating count and in terms of the alternate count right now, because we have a significant rally, an impulsive looking rally. I think it's a third wave of wave one. And it's quite a reversal, seen as last week came so close to invalidating this count, but now we're so close to kind of validating the more bullish count. If this is correct, then we should see a nice clear 5-wave pattern develop over the next couple of days, and then we'll settle into some sort of correction. Probably hang above this shoulder here. So we'll call that 110.40 or something like that. So if we rally above 111.20, that marks the well, actually no, it doesn't mark the previous high. 111.66 marks the previous extreme high. Gosh, if we rallied up to above 111.66 and then corrected back to about 110.40, that would create a very bullish impulsive pattern off a second wave low, a possible second wave low. Okay, excuse me. I'm just going to look at the 4-hour chart here and show you what can still remain as the alternate for the moment. It's right now, because we popped higher overnight, we can call this triangle basically an extension in a C wave within this triangle. But what I'm looking at is just a second. The main wave count falls this initial drop here back in April as wave 2, and then we can work a 5-wave pattern into this and a possible 3-wave. You could call it a triple combination wave 2 here, and then if that's the case, then the short-term chart shows this impulsive move higher as wave 1 of 3. So wave 1 of 3 even. So I'm not totally sold on that yet either. That's why I'm still hanging with this alternate count here. This really long, protracted summer, drift to nowhere, oscillating around 110, can still be counted as a long-term triangle, and it could be a B wave within that larger wave too. And in a way, I'm quite happy to leave that on the table, simply because the kind of extended sideways nature of the pattern looks more corrective, and it does fit within a triangle at the moment. Still, until we break 111.6. Well, what was that high? 111.66, I think, on the short-term chart. We'll call it 111.70. If we break 111.70, that's it. That's a pretty reasonable confirmation that we're moving higher. With still other alternatives, I can't rule out the idea that we get one more decline in a C wave to complete a very long 1-2 pattern. If you go to the daily chart, if you view it on the daily chart, it doesn't look out of proportion at all that we would have this 3-wave, let's say second wave here. The move up into wave 1, say in the April high, is still reads as a nice 5-wave impulsive pattern. The action that's happened since then, I think is probably best viewed as corrective within this second wave. Maybe I'll switch that this week, but we still have that caveat of that 111.66 high here. If that holds and we turn lower again, then I think we'll probably switch to this alternate count here, this 1-2 alternate count. Okay. We'll go to euro dollar. Let's go 4-hour here. The 3-wave pattern higher in wave C just seems it's ideal. I'm looking for an E wave to rally in 3 waves back up towards 120 to complete that long-term triangle. It's still on the table, but we just haven't had a reversal higher yet. I suppose the fact that we've got maybe a short-term momentum reversal here on the 4-hour chart, maybe that's kind of hinting at the idea that we're turning higher again, but we'll see. I'm not sure I could call this previous high here the end of wave E. I would still suggest that if we decline again, it'll probably be within the remit of this D wave here, and then we just have to work higher again in wave E later. For the moment, I think this triangle in wave B still fits. We'll look for 3 waves up in wave E. Complete that triangle. Let's see how it goes. Okay, 4-hour pound dollar. I'll go into the hourly chart actually for the moment. Looks like we're still working on a 1-2 pattern here. The larger 4-hour pattern still has a possible alternate there for wave 2. You can see that at the moment we still have a 1-2 pattern, maybe a 1-2 pattern, and we could be working in a 3rd degree 1-2 pattern. The fact that we didn't make a new low here does suggest that this bullish pattern here is actually correct. I'll just move this into place here and we'll see. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So if we get into the hourly count here, if we get 3 waves up in wave 2, then that will suggest that we will see an acceleration, probably at an increasingly higher degree to the downside. It could get quite messy in cable pretty soon. Quite exciting to the downside as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that 137.90 area. Let's see if we complete 5-3 to the downside, and if we move lower again to begin a 3rd wave. Let's see how that goes on. Okay, this count in the stock market is causing me headaches. We have a high in place. We still have the idea that we have a 1-2, 1-2 pattern, but I can't. How do I phrase this? I can't rule out some sort of a correction going on here. It seems to be 3 waves down. We've had a nice bounce off that off last week's low. No matter how much it pains me to say this, this could still be a correction within a larger trend. We'll see how it goes. I can't call it right now. At the moment, we have a correction in place off, let's say, the mid-August high that does kind of mirror what happened, let's say, back in May and June. So in terms of size, it's a very similar size correction, isn't it? So could it be at the same degree? It's hard to know. I'm going to admit here that I am struggling with this one. So far, this 1-2, 1-2 pattern is still very possible. So we will need some, or I will need some serious move down this week in order to remain with this kind of set of bearish impulse waves to the downside. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of, holding my breath on that one, to be honest. Okay, so let's move on to gold. We still have the possibility of a second wave coming in this week. It looks like we have a small 3-wave up pattern here, so let's see how that unfolds. We still are building a higher low, so I am reasonably confident that 1662 low will hold. If I'm proven wrong on that, I think we'll probably just create an even better buying opportunity down here somewhere. But for the moment, we still have a 1-2 pattern yet to complete, and then we'll look for a smaller bullish impulse wave off that completed second wave in order to, that's what I would be looking for anyway, in order to give me a signal to kind of buy in again. Okay, so here's gold, or the hourly chart. You can see that's the wave 1 high. We have 3 waves down in wave 2. I did think that was wave 2 complete. So far, it's turned out to be wave A of 2. it could be 3 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, and then you look for 5 waves down in wave C. So I'm not sure it is actually possible that we're seeing a larger 1-2 here develop, and we'll see let's say a break of 1737 again in wave 3. That might delay. It will actually, if this is correct, if this larger 5-wave pattern is correct, that will delay our turn up to begin wave 3 up. So in general, I would expect once wave 2 is complete, I would expect a higher low to build again. So let's see how that goes. 3 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, and possible 5-wave down pattern now building in wave C. If we break 1737 again, I think we're on for a drop back towards 1710. That'll be 78% retracement here on that Fibonacci grid. So let's see how that goes. I think we're very close to a final low in wave 2, and then look for confirmation to the upside to begin wave 3. So I'll hang my hat on that for the moment. I think at this moment, this is the alternate count for Crude. We're getting very close to not invalidating this count, but it's getting very close to becoming an expanded fat by breaking out to a new high above 76.50. So in terms of the main count, I'm still working with this 3-4-5 scenario here. If we go to the hourly count, you can see that we're probably within a third of wave 5 here. So we can get wave 1 and 2, then we're within the third of 5. So wave 3 in blue is labeled up here, and it'll probably push towards $80. Of course, you'll see them all screaming skippity doodah over in Middle East again. Of course, this is actually driving their push towards war again. Seems to be anyway, in terms of Iraq, and that kind of belligerence is returning. Maybe you might suggest that self-confidence is kind of tipping or top, let's say pushing towards the top as the oil price rises as well. So I'd actually, as the oil price rises, I'd look for some sort of conflict probably flare up in the Middle East pretty soon. So this third of a third looks like to be on point at the moment, and you might even say that we're within wave 3 of 3 of 3 of 3 as you go down the degrees of labeling. So I would expect this should continue, and we push to a new let's say multi-year high in wave 3 here, probably before the end of the week. Okay, let's move on to the S&P. 4-hour chart. The count, actually, the short-term count in S&P is not. It's more promising to the downside, I think, than the Dow even. We did get a nice break of that previous fourth wave in a nice impulsive move as well. If we go, like I'm calling that 5 waves down in wave 1, and this is a 3-wave pattern up in wave 2. We've got a solid lower high. We're actually topping, if you want to look at it that way, we have a double top on both shoulders here. Say that previous third wave and this second wave that's coming in today. The futures are lower, so it looks like the market might open lower, and we may have a nice kind of symmetrical top in third waves, or sorry, in between wave 3 and wave 2 here. Let's go to the hourly count. You can see here almost to the pip in the futures today. 44.81 I think is more or less, or 44.80 you might call it, as where wave 3 and wave 2 seem to be topping out. The biggest thing I don't like about this count is this kind of bunched third wave here and a super extended fifth wave. So we'll just have to take it take it as it comes here. If we start moving impulsively lower again, then it does kind of suggest that this head and shoulders pattern here is actually correct, especially if we accelerate lower this week. So I would watch for a 1-2 pattern to build. Let's say with a break below this A wave again. So break below 4,400 and then a corrective lower high again. So we're kind of stepping lower again into building a third wave down. For the moment, I think that's probably my best guess on this week, that we might build a lower high in wave 2, maybe even get towards an acceleration in the third of a third. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we've got to hold this corrective pattern higher here, if that's to remain, let's say, the best guess scenario here. Okay, so silver still looks like we're probably going to push towards one last low, towards 21. Well, I'm eyeing that as the most likely scenario right now. To finish off this 5-wave move lower in wave C red here, so wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So wave C completes, then we've got triple combination waves, larger degree wave C, and wave 2 then done. Okay, let's get to the hourly count here. You can see we've got wave 1 down, 2 up, extension in wave 3, 3 waves higher in wave 4, move lower again in wave 5. So far we've only got there is a possibility that we could be building, let's say, a triangle here in wave 4. I mean, we could contract over the next few days and build a larger triangle wave 4 and then pop lower. So we'll see how that goes today. So far, it looks like 3 waves up, possibly in wave 4, and then it does suggest this move lower is 3 waves down. So you could be looking at 3-3, maybe a 3-3-5 flat, or maybe a continuing narrowing of the range in a triangle wave 4, and then push to a new low in wave 5 later on in the week. So let's see how that goes. As for Bitcoin, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Expecting this acceleration into a third wave down. We got the wave 1 and 2 up. It looks like we've got a 1-2 scenario going on here as well. So we may be topping out in a second wave at a lower high. So, it may not augur too well for Bitcoin right now, as long as 45. This second wave high here holds at about 45,120. Let's see if we can lurch lower into a third of a third this week. Okay, I think that's it. In terms of myself, I am looking. Let's go to this silver daily count. If we're looking at a second wave bottoming here in silver, an acceleration higher in a third wave in silver, then I am quite attracted to building a position in silver at the moment. So that's where my mind is kind of drifting to at the moment. I prefer the kind of setup in silver as to gold at the moment. It looks like, I'm not ruling out that we won't rally, quite significantly in gold. We probably will. I think there might be a little bit more upside in silver over the next few months once we get this second wave out of the way. I think we're quite close to that right now. I'd love to be able to put a date on it, but this final C wave has got to finish, and then we'll look to seeing if we get an impulsive move off that low again. Still looking towards that between 21 and 20 to finish the second wave before rallying in wave 3. But you can see the size of this 1-2 rally here. Have we got a weekly chart here? There's silver weekly. Here's the kind of I suppose a look towards that weekly chart here. Always expecting that 1-2 rally off that B wave low. So a rally up in wave C at the next higher degree here. Wave C should trace out 5 waves up. I think we could have somewhere up around $60 in wave C. Now, if this is a third wave up, then it could go much higher. As long as this 1-2 pattern holds, then we are looking towards a pretty solid rally in wave 3 of C. But I think maybe even a long-term rally up towards. I mean, we're talking a couple of years out now. probably up towards $60 once this completes in wave C anyway. Okay, that's it for the moment. Let's see how today goes. We'll know more tonight, as usual. God bless you all. Have a nice day, and we'll see you tonight. Bye bye.